Don't you wish at times that on Facebook there was not a like button, but rather a dislike button? There are so many examples of poor Facebook etiquette, so here are 10 ways to increase your Facebook etiquette. And it all begins with sending that initial friend request. How many of you have sent them to people you barely even know, or maybe have not even met, yet you barely correspond with that person? It makes it very awkward on the receiving person's end if they don't know that person. So to avoid the problem, just don't do it. Choose your friends wisely. Don't be overly narcissistic. Obviously, Facebook is a platform to share points of pride like photos, great memories, even personal thoughts on different matters. But it's not a place to share your GPA or other really bombastic things. That's what LinkedIn is for. It's a place to share your achievements. Facebook, you know what, it can get a little bit too far. It's for you to determine where that line is, but in general, it's non-good etiquette to be totally self-absorbed. Don't post locations of friends' whereabouts without their permission. A lot of people like Foursquare and other platforms where you're saying where you are. But if you're going to involve other people, make sure you get their okay first. A lot of people don't want to be sharing their whereabouts with others to see. It could be a problem with security as well, so take that into consideration. Don't avoid responding back to messages. People send them because they want to respond, so if somebody sends you a direct message, really reply back to it within several days. More than that, you're giving the impression that you cannot connect very well, and it's really not in good manners either. This can extend to email, texting, phone calls, etc., and Facebook is no exception. Don't use Facebook while interacting with others in person. There's nothing worse than sitting at the dinner table or out at lunch with somebody and they're on their phone using Facebook. It is really rude. Know when the proper place is, and that's not when you're in the company of other people. Don't tag others if they are in uncomfortable, embarrassing, or even compromising situations. You don't want to be tagging people if they're out at a bar, or perhaps they're in kind of an awkward situation. It's really rude and inconsiderate, especially if it could potentially hurt them in the future. So you have to just judge, be wise about the situation. Judge if you would want to be tagged if you were in that person's position. Don't post extremely personal information. That's going to be a judgment call on your part. But you know what? It's not in good etiquette to be extremely intimate about all aspects of your life. Don't make events public and visible for all to see. You might be inviting some people and excluding others. Do you really want that out there for others to see, hey, that person didn't invite me? It's really rude and inconsiderate. So if you want to create an event, make it private. Don't have friends for the sake of having big numbers. The point of Facebook obviously is to connect with a lot of individuals that are part of your life, but not just every single person in the book. It kind of gives off the impression that you don't value people if it's for the sake of numbers. Don't mass invite people to events. If you're basically inviting all 400 of your friends to a party you're having, it basically shows you're not putting a lot of thought into it. It's really inconsiderate, and it's just showing that you don't value that person if you couldn't even select a handful of individuals. So if you do have an event, just pick a handful, or better yet, don't even do it through Facebook in the first place. Use another event site, because those who are not invited and who can see that they weren't invited are really not going to like you. So those are just 10 ways of how to improve your Facebook etiquette. Obviously, I don't have the answers, and these are subjective. You may not agree with mine, but that's okay. That's the point. It's a conversation, and everybody can improve their Facebook etiquette in different ways. It's for you to decide and for you to execute as well.